na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Oh, what a beautiful. Ah! I gotta do the show. Oh, shit, I forgot. Oh, no. Hey, Courtship of Eddie's Father. I think it was 1967, 5, something like that. What a great show. I grew up on that show. Yeah, the Courtship of Eddie's Father. A single father, his wife died. He had to raise his kid alone. He had a housekeeper, and it was basically just a great father and son show talking about how what's it like to be a single father? But that was in the 60s, so like a whole different thing than we have today. It wasn't social media, but still, what it was like to be a father in the 60s, and kids asking the same questions about life and how they deal with it. So crazy. Yeah. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Father's Day is next Sunday. This Sunday coming up, and so we thought we'd do a cool show, just like it was a spur of the moment, like, hey, let's do this thing. Call it Dining with Dad. And we're going to have some paintballers on with their paintballers sons, paintballers fathers. And we're going to talk about dadhood, not fatherhood. Any man can be a father, but it takes a special person to be a dad. So that's what we're going to talk about today. What's it like to be a dad? Paintball dad, just dad in general. All right. So let's do this. Ready? All right. Let me get rid of this thing here. We're not sharing the screen anymore. We're going to bring up these two cool cats in. And wait a minute. There we go. That looks better. And let me do some advertising here. We'll run that across the bottom. And hey, Spencer and James. Oh, poor guys. Look at that. They're stuck.
They're infected.
Look at that. They're infected. Hey, Spencer and James, how are things on the space shuttle up there? It looks like how are things on everything good on the space station? Spencer, James, look at them. Do you see that? Peacher, am I the only one seeing this?
No, I see it too.
Spencer and James, are you using a special filter that makes you like Hollywood cool or something? Is that what it is?
They're going.
Oh, starting to hear something.
Oh no, you guys, come on. We practiced this an hour before. No, I'm joking. Hey, Spencer and James, you guys are like stuck or
Right?
Yeah.
What the
maybe,
heck?
listen. Spencer, there we go. Try it. Let's try it again. All right. Anyway, hey, how are you? Gremlin, what's going on, brother?
Nothing.
Oh, good. Well, that's it. That's all the time we have, ladies and gentlemen. So it's just nothing. Did you check everybody else in the? Did you check up on everybody else in the chat about what do we got here? Spencer, he's waiting for his dad to get home, and
Which was them.
okay. And then who else do we have? We've got John Vance. Who's that?
That's me.
I know, I'm joking. I'm just joking. Let's see if they come in. All right.
Hey.
Ooh. Spencer, that looks creepy. Is this the Halloween show? What is with this? Spencer, are you guys using AOL? What do you have, CompuServe? Dial-up? Prodigy? What are you guys using? Look, and he's stuck. He can't even respond. He's stuck. I can poke at him and nothing's going to happen. Look, I'm going to poke at him.
There we go.
Never mind. Don't worry about it. All right. Listen.
Spencer, we love you, bro, if you can hear us.
All right, Spencer, listen. When you get unstuck, come on and join us.
Let me go get my different laptop so I can plug into the Ethernet because I'm lagging.
Lagging? That's not even lagging. Looks like I'm reading a book. All right, go get your laptop. Wait, my garage is open so I can get this California breeze. So hang on a second. Sometimes
I thought you were inside a semi truck there, Reaper.
where
Driving down the road in the back of a semi, are you?
no, where in the great state of Michigan are you guys?
We're actually in Ohio. We're in Toledo, Ohio.
Same thing. One of those square states or something. I just like exactly. I thought Mark said you were from Michigan.
No, we're from Ohio. We're just below the border.
Oh, so you play in Hell Survivors all the time, though?
Yes, correct.
Okay, cool. So if I'm looking on the map and this is your state, no, I'm just joking. That's Michigan. That's a Michigan joke.
I was gonna say we're down here.
I know exactly. You're down here. Not on the lakes. You're down here. Ohio. That's fantastic. All right, we're in Ohio.
Toledo, Ohio.
Toledo, Ohio, where Klinger was from in MASH.
T-Town. Yep.
Yes, exactly. What are you guys famous for besides? Hang on a second. Drew Carey.
Let's see. Toledo, we are famous for Tony Pacos. We're famous for
Tony Pacos. Is you want to buy an album?
It's a food.
Is that a food?
Yes, food. What else are we famous for? Our Toledo Mud Hens, baseball. We're also famous for Toledo Walleye, which is hockey. And we have a lot of stuff that takes place at the Huntington Center, which is famous for like a bunch of concerts and stuff like that.
So I'm guessing that you're into sports.
Me?
If you can name that stuff, yeah.
No, that's just what we're famous for.
Oh, I got it. I couldn't name any sports thing on my end, but you named them all. That's fantastic. All right, cool. All right. And so how long have you been a father to this? Did you rent this one? Did you rent this kid or is this really your kid here?
Yeah, no, I gotta have him back by let's see.
Exactly.
So we got 45 minutes, guys.
All right, cool. We'll have to hurry. Wait. Pretend like your microphone doesn't work, right? Ready? Yeah. Okay.
See you guys.
Right, you could hear us in the green room, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so now you guys are no longer picture books and stories. Now you're actually moving characters. I like this. And we could probably have a conversation. Okay, cool. All right. So Preacher and Gremlin are from Toledo, Ohio. James and Spencer, where are you from?
Union City, just south of Battle Creek, Michigan.
Oh, wait a minute. Here comes my thing. So Preacher is from down here. This is Ohio. And you guys are where? Where on the map?
Like right about there.
Okay, right on this side, right there. Okay,
Right in the middle.
Right about the middle.
I got it. Okay, cool. All right.
Yeah, they're just north of the center of the palm, like at the center of the wrist.
Okay, fantastic. And you guys know each other?
Yeah, absolutely. These are my brothers. We play together quite a bit.
There you go. And you guys all played at Hell Survivors, right?
Hell Survivors, Sherwood, we've played out there. Quite a few fields.
Nice. Look, that's cool. I think we're boring Gremlin. Gremlin, are you okay back there?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, cool. I don't want to keep you awake, so I'm sorry if I'm. All right.
I think he's trying to concentrate on his ankle. Yesterday, he fractured his ankle, and unfortunately, he isn't going to be able to play Super Games. So he's kind of bumming about that.
Oh,
Wait,
dude.
another year. Play
How
super.
did
That
you-
into Kimbo.
Wait, how did you fracture your ankle?
I fell off a longboard.
Wait, a longboard as in a skateboard?
Yeah.
He's gonna get
I
ready.
thought he said lawnmower at first. I'm like, that's a heck of a fall then. There we go.
He's got a super long longboard.
That is called a land yacht. It's 5 foot. 5 foot. How long was your longboard?
I think it's like 44 inches.
Nice, very cool. And you fell off of it
Yeah.
your first time riding it?
No. I hit a rock and it launched the board out from under me.
Ooh, I hate when that happens, dude. I had a back in the day before James, you look about my age. Maybe
49
How much?
ish.
How much?
49.
49? Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm older than you by 10 years. So anyway, what happened was back in the day in the 60s, when 1670s, when skateboarding was making a really big, before Tony Hawk. So we had like skateboards, and I used to live by the beach by whatever, and we had these big wheels and stuff, and I would skateboard all the time. And one time I skated and I put my foot in front of the board by accident and flew forward, and I hit my chin on the ground, and it just splattered open, and like I was laying there. And anyway, so skateboards are dangerous. Skateboards are dangerous, but it's experience. So a fracture, that's a break? Is that, or like
Yeah.
like that lying down the bone thing? It's not like broken like this, right?
Yeah.
It's like that?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you have a cast?
Not yet. So he's got a splint on it now. Go ahead, talk to him.
Yeah, I have a splint on it now, and then in 2 weeks I get a boot.
Or a cast, depending upon how things look.
Nice. Okay, cool. All right. And then how you have to wear it for like 6 weeks? What is it? No, like 3 months or something?
Depending on how it heals. If it heals correctly, then it's only gonna take about like 6 to 8 weeks.
That's not bad.
So,
Just drink a lot of milk. That's what your bones like, right? Unless you're lactose intolerant, then don't do that. James and Spencer, do you have an exciting story? Because that had me on the edge of my seat. No, I'm just joking.
Haven't fallen off any longboards.
Nothing. Haven't fallen any. How about lawnmowers or anything like that? Anything that starts with an L?
He's
Nothing?
got a few lawnmower stories, but that was either when I was a baby or when I wasn't existed yet. But
Wait, you fought lawnmowers? That's not good. Yeah. That's not. You're not going to win on that one.
No, you don't win.
All right. Okay. So you guys. So for the people watching at home, yes, we're just joking around like always. That's the life of my show. But we are doing a thing called Dining with Dad. We decided that this Sunday is Father's Day, and people are going to be too busy to do anything, so we're going to do it now. But basically, what we decided to do is get a bunch of people together and talk about dadhood and not fatherhood. And the reason that we're calling it dadhood is because I believe that I think the technical term is when you father something, you are basically providing one part of the package to the other person, and then that you have created something. But that's not a dad. You've just basically fathered things, right? You're just like, and that's it. So a lot of times people do that. They how do I say this? They do that, and then they take off. And so through our life experiences, we start to realize that there are dads and there are fathers. And so I like the dad one. I'll give you a quick one here. I was hoping Mark was going to be on to tell us his horrible story, but oh, look at that. Look who just popped up. Wait a minute. That wasn't planned, guys. That completely wasn't planned. This guy's a mind reader. I just like, dude.
What's
Hello.
going on?
Dude, my show producer, co-host, everything, and he comes on 24 minutes late.
I wasn't paying attention at the time. My golf cart broke. I had to go get parts.
Oh my god. Okay, cool. All right. So listen, we're trying to figure out again where. Wait, no. Can you go the other way? I don't want to see him. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. All right. We're trying to. We figured out that these guys are from Toledo, Ohio, and these guys are which is right here, right? There's Toledo, Ohio, or like that.
Yeah.
And then James and Spencer are from Union City. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yep.
Union City. Hey, look at that. I didn't even take notes. I just enjoy my guests. And Mark is from where are you from?
Metro Airport. Let's just do that.
Right there. Okay, right there. So in the Michigan. So okay. So anyway, so basically what we were talking about, you guys, is that we have the Mark and I basically we were bantering on this idea about, hey, we should do a show on dads and to wax poetically about dads and what the dads do for our community and for their kids. And because there's a lot of again, you can be a father of somebody, but you just might like see them once a week, but that's not really a dad. A dad is hanging out and being there to be when the kid throws up or they have to change their diapers or whatever. That's the dad. Father, yeah. So I'm going to give you my little story. And then if you guys want to share yours, Mark, if you guys want to share yours as well, and then we can kind of let the audience know where we're doing something like this. Okay. So I was born, poor little black child. No, that's from the movie The Jerk. Never mind. Anyway, did you ever see that movie? It's a great movie. I love that movie. I was born in Santa Monica, California, August 12th, 1961. And my father, who is of Moroccan descent, and my mother were together, I guess, for a bit and less than a year. And then they had me, and then they divorced, or he left. He became a professional gambler in Vegas. So he left. And so from 1 to 7, I was out without a father or a dad. I was out with any. It was just my mom. Here's the thing. Here's the problem. The problem is that like every year or so, he would call up and say, "I'm coming over with cowboy boots," or "I'm coming over to take you out. I'm coming over to we're gonna." And I would sit on the porch, and guess what would happen? He would show up. Poor me. One year, he said, "I'm going to come over with cowboy boots." I was like 6 years old, and he didn't show up. So I went and I made paper cowboy boots and taped them to my legs. Oh, poor me. Okay.
Sad song.
Hey, you still got cowboy boots.
But,
You just went and did them.
Yeah, and they fit too because I made them myself. Anyway, so that's what I was going through. I was going through a guy that was like promising, and when you're from 0 to 7, and you're trusting adults and they're promising you things, and you're like, it's crushing your heart. So then when I was 7, my mom got remarried to a guy, and he was a nice guy. I think he was like maybe into not the whole package. I mean, he got me in the mom. I think he liked the mom. He liked me, but he was just too young to be a dad, kind of thing. So he tried his best, but there was no bonding. So from 7 until he died, he died. Quick little side note here. I really didn't have that good of a connection with him. He was an okay guy, but I was a general in a big game in France in 2015 for the first time, and he died. And so they got a hold of me and they said, "Hey, your dad died. Do you want to fly back?" Well, gee, I said, "We'll fly you back." I said, "He's already dead, though, right?" I mean, he's like,
Let's finish this game.
I got a game to do tomorrow. I mean, so I said, okay. So we did the game. I flew to Oregon. I was there for his eulogy or whatever the thing it was. And I told everybody, I stood up and I said, "Listen, I want to thank you all for being, helping out my mom and stuff. My dad can be kind of funky sometimes, but, I just didn't really have a good connection with him. And now whatever." So my trials and tribulations from 0 to now made me the person I am today, but I'm not angry or pissed off or angry at the world. I do have this like, please look at me at it thing, you know what I'm saying? Because I need attention. Yeah, I need attention. But
Yeah.
but when I got married in 2000 and when we got in 1980, 87, 88, you know, and we said, we're going to start over again. We're going to start a brand new family. And I'll let you guys in some inside baseball. My last name used to be Schultz. It was David Justin Schultz. Because I got my adopted name from the guy that when I became 7. And when I got married, I said, we're starting over again. We're like, everything's brand new. So I dropped the Schultz and I just became David Justin. So when we started everything, it's going to be a brand new family, a brand new life and everything. And I'm going to be a dad like this. So we had our first kid in 95 and the next one in 99. And we're still married. I still have my kids. We're still everything. But I learned from the past and I said, I'm not going to be a father. I'm going to be a dad. And that's what I did. So I broke the chain and was a dad. I'm not a good dad sometimes I'm a bad dad because I try to be a friend more than I'm trying to be a dad. And that'll screw up kids. Be a dad, right? They already have enough friends. Be a dad.
Yeah, I kind of look at it as you'll be a dad after they turn 21, or you'll be their friend after they turn 21 and they're out on their own.
I wish I would have talked to you before that, because I was at one point having them call me by my first name. We were like, you know, being best friend, and it was like they were like, "What's this doing to us?" So now when my daughter's not on the pole, no, I'm just joking. She's not a stripper. She's not a stripper. I'm just joking. She's actually going to San Francisco State, and she's a junior, and she's doing amazing. My son is amazing too. So no, it worked out because I have a strong wife. Okay, but you guys, we're going to try to give you some hints on how to be good dads. And now you know my story. I always wear my heart on my sleeve, and there you go. So we're going to jump over to Preacher this way, Preacher and Gremlin. And Preacher, how was your beginning life? And how did it influence you?
Much like yours, Reaper. I actually didn't have a father figure in my life. I was born in Toledo, Ohio with my mom. She never married my dad. And then he was an absentee father. And it was, right before I got married. So I never really knew him. He never made any promises or anything like that, you know. So I guess he kind of saved me from that, you know. But, you know, so then when I got married 2 months after I graduated high school to my beautiful wife that I'm married to now. This will be our 18-year anniversary.
Wow, congratulations.
But when we got married, I wanted her to know everything. And so I told her, I said, listen, I don't have a dad in my life. I've never had a dad in my life, but I would like for you to meet who this guy is who donated to me being in this world. And so we went up to his work and I introduced my wife to him. And he goes, well, why are you getting married? Is she pregnant? And I'm like, wow, congratulations on proving who you are, a jerk, you know. But it's kind of funny because, you know, at that moment, he tried to act like, you know, he was this great guy or whatever. You know, he was like, oh, well, you know, I do such and such for so-and-so and I do this. And I'm like, yeah, meanwhile, where were you at my whole life? You know, nowhere. So, but, you know, much like yourself, I told myself and my wife, I said, that's not going to be the kind of person I'm going to be. And you learn from your past, you know. Right. And the awesome thing is God brought some men along in my life who ended up being father figures to me. So I moved out of my house when I was about 14, 15 years old, and lived with my buddy and his grandpa. And his grandpa ended up becoming like a father figure to me. Nice. He told me what it was like to work third shift and to provide for his family and, you know, things like that. And then I had a big brother through Big Brothers Big Sisters. My biggest brother's name was Buzz, and he was an awesome guy. You know, he stepped in and did some cool things with me where, you know, he didn't have to do that. So, and then, like I said, when I met my wife, God brought me my dad. my wife's dad was my dad. You know, he treated me just like I was his son. You know,
Wow.
helped me get a car. You know, I always wanted a truck. So he comes over one day and he's like, "Hey, guess what, son? I just bought you a truck." And I'm like, "Oh, cool." You know, he's like, "We got some work to do on it, but here's a truck." So, you know, it's amazing how God works. You know, when you're lacking something, he'll bring somebody in to fill that void. And so looking back upon my past, I never had one dad. I always had multiple dads.
That's
Because, you know, God was always bringing somebody else into my life to show me these values and these morals and things that I needed in life. And so, like I said, I learned from that, and I said, you know, I'm always going to be there for my son. You know, what I didn't have, so like I wasn't able to do Boy Scouts or things like that because my mom didn't drive. You know, she was a single mother. I had a younger sister, you know, that was a diabetic and stuff. So she had a lot of time that she had to focus on her and stuff. And so, like, you know, I wrestled, I played baseball, but unfortunately those things ended quickly because I didn't have a ride there, or, you know, just, you know, like you said, I didn't have a father to go and help or do any of that stuff. So, you know, one of the things I told myself was my son would always have a dad that's going to be there and do these things with him. So, you know, I started bringing him out to the paintball field with me when he was about 5 years old. He'd run around and smash paintballs and throw them at the trees and all those fun things. But, you know, yeah, that's kind of my backstory. You know?
I like it. Gremlin, did you know any of this?
Yeah. I knew it.
Yeah, there was one time, this is kind of goes to show you how my, I guess, father is or whatever, but I saw him walking down the street one time, and he, you know, it was cold winter time, and I just got done with church, and I'm like, "Hey, there's my dad." And my wife just kind of looks, and she's like, "What?" And the kids, they were young at the time, and I'm like, "I'm gonna stop and pick him up and give him a ride home." He got in the car, didn't even know who I was. Gave him a ride home. Have a nice day, and that was the end. Yeah, I haven't seen him since then.
Wow, dude, you should have kept on going like off a short pier and just like.
No, I gave him a ride to his house, told him have a good day, and yeah.
All right, good for you. Wow, what a story. James.
Mine's fairly normal. I mean, I had the father. I had the.
Mark, how are you? Mark, how are you? I don't want normal. I'm just joking.
Well,
James. I'm just
no,
joking.
I had a dad. I'm still alive. My mom and dad got divorced when I was a sophomore, so there was a little bit difference there, bouncing back and forth between homes. But
Right.
always had a father in the picture.
Nice.
Did
Did you think about like when you got older how divorce affects you, and that, you know, like it's not good to have the kid bounce around and stuff?
Yeah, and my dad worked a lot, so I didn't do a lot with him because he was always working or second shift or third shift, and
Right.
so that's changed a little bit because I do quite a bit with my kids.
Nice.
I think I do.
Nice.
Sometimes too much.
Nice.
But yeah, so that changed a lot. I mean, me being around more than my dad was, I mean, at least actively, he was always working odd hours. So,
Right. Wow, that's amazing. Listen, James, it's good to be boring. I'm just joking.
as you get older, it is. it's healthier.
You have to have an exciting backstory. No, listen. I like that. I think a lot of people are envious or jealous sometimes of not having that, you know, that Norman Rockwell family, you know, Thanksgiving kind of, you know. I'm jealous of. Well, you can't be anymore. I'm not jealous, but I'm saying it would have been nice to, you know, when people are like dying to get home on Sunday for the big dinner and that, and you're like, oh, okay, see you. I don't have any family. Go, see you. Yeah.
Right.
So in the chat, Lisa Weber, Team Tags, is in the house, but she asks about the bacon bomb, and then I'm kind of as far as Infected goes, I kind of took over as the father figure for that too. So we do, if you're ever at a big game and Infected is there, we do the whole big dinner thing. Ask Mark; he's in on it usually.
Usually, if SOC and Infect is somewhere around, there's going to be more than enough food to feed the campground.
We break bread together regularly. Yeah.
Nice. You guys, before we jump into to Mark's story, let's just take a look at some of the guys in the chat and just say hello to them. Jose, let's see, let me see, Jose. There's Adam Lang. Hey, Adam Lang. Big ups to you guys. What else? Lisa Weber, I saw you. Lee Williams, Holy Toledo. Tim Miller from Australia. Hello. Lisa Weber, what's up, Devin? And John Adams from Canada. What's up? Okay, so Mark, I know your backstory because he's my show producer and we get to chat a lot of time. You tell us what you want to tell us.
I'll tell you everything. I don't care.
Well, it's only an hour show, so hang on. I'm just joking.
Go get your popcorn, right? No, it's not. Yeah, it looks like all of us forgot to get something to eat.
I'm dieting. I'm on a liquid diet. Yes, exactly. We're dieting.
Cosmic brownies, all right.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Wait, look. Down.
There
Okay.
Catch, Dad.
Thanks for trying to sabotage the show. All right. Sir. All right.
So anyway,
Go ahead.
here it is with me. I never knew my father. Never knew him. I don't know if I was 6 weeks old or if I was 6 months old. It's one of those two, but you get conflicting stories through the family. Mother says one thing, aunt says something else. I don't know. But at one point, my mother was married to my father because I do have my father's last name. And supposedly they said they were married. So I'm going off of that. I lived my whole life as a fatherless child. And I said, I'll never do that with my own kids. Now, I know this is the only one that you ever see, but I actually have 5 kids. He's 2 of 5. The oldest one is grown and out of the house. Then I have him, which he just graduated. Yes, finally we got that. Yeah, that's right. I just said that over everybody. That's international.
Hey, congratulations.
Anyways, I was 40 or 41 before somehow my aunt on my father's side, a message to me was caught in the Facebook matrix. And all of a sudden, this thing popped up through Messenger. And it said, hey, are you Mark Bellamy? Are you Connie's son? And I'm like looking at this thing, and then it said Harold Bellamy, your father, and then said his nickname of Buddy. Well, I do know that everybody in my family said what his nickname was. And I'm like, this is strange. I go my whole life going from 1 to 8, and then my actual dad came into my life. From 8 to about 10, I resented him because I thought he took us away from everything I knew, which was my family up here. He got older, and I realized it's because all he knew how to do was work with horses, and where better to work with horses than in Kentucky, the horse capital of the world. So we ended up moving to Kentucky. He ended up keeping us down there. I resented him. We had problems. As I grew, then I became 12. Well, now, of course, all you fathers know at around 12 years old, some things are starting to grow in and a mouth is getting on me. So I get a little bit mouthier, and I didn't have the best mom either. So basically I got kicked out of the house at 12. Wound up here in Michigan with my grandfather. We were staying at my aunt's house that I kind of grew up with my cousin until I was about 13. Then I went back with my mom because it's like all of a sudden she wanted me back home. So I go back there, still resenting my father or my dad, still resenting him, not liking him, but I'm there now at 12. And then I was about 15 and I got kicked out again. Yay, all right. So I'm back up here living with my other aunt, which that life was pretty decent. I mean, they had money and I didn't have to worry about nothing, lived in a decent house and everything like that. I was like, okay, this is good. But now if you guys think about this, I've already bounced around a lot from 12 to 15 years old. So when my aunt and uncle started getting on me about school and about trying to get things going, I got into the why does everybody hate me? Why is everybody not like me? So I rebelled against them. They're 7 kids grown. Okay, they're older. They've grown 7 kids. Now I'm coming into their life, and I'm this younger kid at 15 years old living with them. Well, they're like, no, if you go see your mother, because my mother came up here to visit my other aunt, you go see your mother, you're moving back with her. I didn't believe her. So I went to go see my mother at my aunt's house. She rolls up with my bag of clothes, sets them on the curb, and says, you're taking them back. So I go back with my mom from 15 to about 3 months later. And her and my dad got into an argument. Now we're in Aiken, South Carolina.
Oh man.
Yep. So a couple months I lived down there. My grandpa's like, we have to wait until the check. My mom was so mean, I was actually literally sleeping out front in the chair under the sky because we didn't even have trees for me to sleep under. She never gave me a blanket or anything. My grandpa tried to bring me something. She wouldn't let him. My dad and her were arguing, and he didn't come home for the days that I was there. Then I wound up coming back up here and bounced around, had a whole lot of trouble. Basically got to the point where I was 17 years old. Once I was 17, I was living on the streets. My food was a bottle of 20-ounce Coke bottle and a Snickers bar got me through every day. It seemed to be just enough to get me through. Every once in a while, the guy at Boneyard Barbecue would throw me a plate of Boneyard Barbecue. Oh, I was eating good that night. I got through that year about 2 months into winter. So now, if you guys know, that's like December, January, it started to really get nasty. I met my wife. Okay, my now wife. She wasn't my wife then, of course, but I met my now wife, and we became really close friends. Well, she's got kind of a weird family. Yeah, honestly, I mean, they're weird. Come on, I'm this guy. Now I get to live in this girl's house at 18 years old. I mean, come on, it's a little weird to trust that. So ends up being I move into the house. Her and I were friends. Ended up girlfriend, boyfriend. Ended up marrying. So we're going along through life. As time went on, I started realizing every single thing my dad did in my life, it wasn't for him. It wasn't for my mom. It was actually literally for us kids. He had 2 kids that were not his, me and my sister. He had one other kid that was his. And the reason why I'm telling you this part is because the guy used to break horses. Remember I told you he worked with horses. He used to get on horses, thoroughbred race horses, and break them so that jockeys could get on them and ride them. One day, it wasn't a very good day for him. The horse came down. As everybody knows, the horse is about a 1,500-pound animal. Shattered his leg in several different spots. Okay? The guy knows nothing else. Later on, I find out he's also dyslexic and he couldn't read. So he couldn't even fill out an application for a Burger King or anything. So about a month later, when all the bills were happening, he cuts the cast off his leg and goes back to work. Okay? This guy has a leg that's crooked like, well, I'm going to bring it a little bit closer. His leg is crooked like this now because he knew that if he did not get up and go to work to make money, me and my sister would not have a place to live. Okay? It would end up being that we'd be living in a car or a tack shop, and he wasn't going to do that to us. There's no way, shape, or form that he was going to allow the kids that he came into our lives to take care of. He was not going to let us live a crappy life. So he was working his butt off, hurting himself, bending his leg, and being crippled for the rest of his life just to make sure that we had a roof over our head. That was the first time I realized, wait a minute. At first, because I still resented him, I was kind of on there's something wrong with this guy. And as I got older and the more I realized, and then these guys came along and realized why he did that and all the little things that he did, I, of course, kind of felt like a jerk. At that point, I started feeling like a jerk, like, this guy really did a lot of stuff for me. you know, and he's not my father. He didn't even have the joy of producing me. He's just paying for me. And I
Wow.
still, at this point, like I said, don't know my real father. I still don't know my real father.
Yeah.
So now coming into that point, I started having kids. Like I said, he's 2 of 5. I got all my kids. They're starting to be grown. 5 years ago-ish, I get this message through Facebook Messenger, and it's Aunt Kathy was her name, and it said trying to get a hold of me. So I responded to it to find out that she was trying to get a hold of me to let me know that my grandmother on my father's side was passing away. Since this is why I say it was caught in a matrix, because when I started talking to her, my grandmother, mother on that side of the family, had been passed away for 2 years. So she was trying to reach out to me. The sucky part about it, I find out that family, my mother wasn't the greatest. I love my father. I don't like my mother very much. So I know it's kind of weird, even though she was there. My dad, great person, took care of me. Mother kept me away from my actual father, to the point that I find out that my father's mother, or my grandmother, actually literally had a sweater with a paw on it that had my name under it for her grandkids. Everybody on that side of the family always asked who I was. So when I started talking to these people, it's like all of them knew who I was, but I had no idea who anybody was. So then I end up going through things, and I'm like, okay, cool. Then I finally get this picture of my father, and I'm like, okay, he's not doing so great. He's sitting in an apartment that my aunt owns, and he's sitting on lawn furniture, like beach chairs, in an apartment. I'm like, what? This guy is, you know, I'm 40 something years old. I'm like, okay, whatever. He's still my father. So I'm like, gonna have a conversation with him. I have a conversation with him, and thought to myself, I really got lucky that the dad that I got is the dad that raised me, and not this guy.
Right. Wow.
But the
Dude.
thing is, I will say that I'll never do that to my kids. I'll never
Oh.
walk out on. They can walk out on me when we get older, but I ain't walking out on them.
Nice. Listen. Hey, James, that's how you tell a story.
I'm trying.
But again, at the same time, that makes me the way I am. That's the reason why.
No,
you know.
that's what I said, that I think that our experiences have made us who we are. And the thing is, though, if anybody knows me or you guys or that kind of stuff, maybe they're, you know, I don't think that we're mean. I don't think that we're on the social media chat, you know, doing hating people. And I think that we're trying to, you know, we've had some, you know, challenges in our upbringing, but we've said, well, that's what happened, right? Okay, cool. And we're not going to like take it out on the rest of the world. And actually, we're doing the opposite of the reason they call him preacher is because he's a man of the cloth, a man of God. And if you ever met Mark, he'll give you his last dollar. Like if just here, let me, you know, whatever I can do to help you out. James, I'm not so sure about. So
He's gonna feed you. He's gonna feed you, and you best believe in the last minute he's gonna bring that slut.
exactly. No,
You least
James,
expect it.
James is a great guy too. So what I'm just saying is that there's, I don't know if it's today's kids or today's generation who are constantly complaining or say, gimme. But I'm the oldest of all of these guys here, and I grew up in the 60s and the 70s and all that kind of stuff. There's a point where you can decide you're going to live on the street and say, that's going to be the rest of my life. Or you're going to say, you know what? No, there's just something better. And there's something internal. And we need that guidance, whether it's God or a person coming into our life or something. And that was, I guess, the cool thing that when we decided to choose, you know, a bunch of people to come on the show is that, yes, bad things have happened to us, but we're still kind of like, it's okay. You know what I'm saying? And we're not going to push that onto our kids.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to give our kids the lessons that we learned, and then say, hey, you run with the ball. So like Gremlin,
I
when
think
you hear,
I think the thing, Reaper, is, you guys will all agree with me that as a father or a dad, like you say, you look at it and you say, I'm going to do better for my kids than what I had. You know,
Right.
you can have the best dad in the world, but as a father, you always say, I'm going to do better for my kid than what I had.
Right, right,
Doing better doesn't necessarily mean buying them everything or
right. Exactly.
Absolutely not. But making
Right.
sure that you're there for them, making sure that they're raised right, making sure that you instill the right values and morals into their life.
Right.
You know, and the thing
sit
that
there for hours upon hours getting credit recovery done so your kid passes and gets a high school diploma.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice.
you know,
Listen,
and
hey,
like you said,
listen.
you can sit there and you can wait on the past all you want, but it's not going to change anything.
No, it's
The
not
thing,
going
the
to.
thing I always told myself is I'll do better and I'll make sure that I'm the man that I need to be for my kids.
Dude, I like that. Listen, hey, congratulations on graduating high school. So what's it like to be older than your teachers? Oh, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. No worries. All right. No. Okay. So so Gremlin,
Yeah.
you heard all these crazy stories, right?
Mhm.
Would you do that? Do you think you could survive off a Diet Coke or a Coke and a Snicker bar?
Probably not.
Not right? I mean, crazy. But Mark had to go through that kind of stuff. We can't rely on James because he just bounced back and forth. But I'm just joking.
Yeah.
But you heard all these amazing stories. What do you
Always-
think you're?
Just
Wait,
I'm
wait.
gonna interrupt you on that real quick. I left this part out just because of the fact that it added more to it. But I'm gonna go ahead and say it just because you said that. The
Okay.
thing about that Snickers and that Coke every day, yes, I realize this is not the life that I need to live. I don't want to live this life. This is not cool. And
Right.
of course, when it got colder, it became even more and more important. Yes, I made a lean-to in the park, and yes, I had a makeshift home and everything like that. But you had to go and talk people into letting you use their gas station bathroom to find a plastic cup that somebody drank something out of so you can put it in the sink to pour water on your head to wash yourself with the hand soap in the bathroom, you know, just to be somewhat clean. And you never really got clean, but at least it was better than the filth that you were always at.
Right.
I said that I ended up being with my wife, but I still at one point I had nothing but the Snickers and a Coke. Then I went to a bike. Then I went to a car. I literally felt like when I got the car that I was living life because I had heat and I had AC in the summertime. I mean, it was like wonderful. But the way I got to that point was there is a Chili's on Ford Road and Southfield Freeway. They were hiring. I went in there and applied. They seen me because, of course, I have no clothes that are in good shape. They're very tattered, very dirty, very nasty. You can tell I was homeless. And I told the person that it says you're hiring for a dishwasher. Nobody's going to see me in the dish tank. Nobody's going to smell me. It stinks in the dish tank. And I told them, I said, you know, I kept on. They're like, we can't hire you. You don't even have a home. I said, how am I ever going to get a home if I don't have a place to live or a job? And then they kept on. And I was like, look, I'll make you a deal. We don't have to file any paperwork. If anything happens, you have my signatures, instantly file them so you're protected. If not, I'll work for a week. If I don't work out, you can fire me. After that week, they gave me a $2 raise and said I wasn't going anywhere.
Nice.
Point, I showed up every time I could, turned into the dishwasher / busboy and started raking in some money. Wound up with a bike and being able to go to a hotel room, get a nice size sleep, be able to eat an actual meal. Of course, you know, Chili's, I was getting some food. That was awesome. And then I ended up saving up $800 and bought my first car, which was a 87 Ford Tempo. I had time to think what it was. And like I said, at that point, I started feeling like I was living life. And then of course, now I'm a little bit cleaned up, so now I met a girl.
Nice. Listen, oh my God, you're killing me. But you always do. Every time we talk, you always kill me.
Hey, that bike will take you a long ways. That was my My thing was a bike. I was on a bike everywhere, man.
Okay, so Spencer,
Just don't give up, guys. No
Don't
matter
give
where
up.
you are in life, don't
That's
give
true.
up. Is what I'm trying to say.
Spencer,
Yeah.
your dad's not divorced, right? I mean, you guys are not divorced. You're not.
Actually, my parents got divorced when I was in middle school.
No,
Yeah.
no, you're not
Yeah.
supposed to get divorced. No,
No, but-
all right,
It
no
worked out
worries.
in the end.
Okay, all right, cool. Okay, so what you're trying to relive history there, James? All right. Anyway, so what
Yeah.
happened was,
It kind of add to
okay,
his story, so he has something interesting to
exactly. All right. So, but your dad's always been there for you.
Yeah. Well, so I don't remember any athletic event when I was playing baseball from T-ball. When he wasn't there to just sit and watch. He never coached. He doesn't have athletic coaching knowledge, but he was always he was always there and always watched. Like even at basketball practices for travel ball, he just sat and watched, and
Nice.
he watched everything. And even at high school, once I had my license, he would still sometimes just show up and just see the progress that
Nice.
me and my friends were making. So he was always really there. And then paintball came along because I actually have a brother and he's at work right now. But Alex got us started in paintball, and then from there on, it just became like a family. It's just how we bonded, and through the camping and everything else there, it's really brought us together.
That's amazing. Okay, so was there a what's it called when there's like divorce proceedings and then you get the kids for a certain amount of time? Go ahead.
That's where it gets funky. Is my parents are actually still living in the same household, so I didn't have to worry about being bounced around. So I got to see both my mom and my dad, which is
Nice.
it helped a lot with everything.
Cool. All right. So, I mean, yeah, listen, we all, I scream and yell, or I try not to, but my wife, we all see that, the kids see that, you know what I'm saying? And the kids see the problems and stuff like that. And then you calm down and you're like, oh my God, the kids are listening, and then they're, and then all of a sudden you hear them yelling at their boyfriend or girlfriend, and you're like, oh man, I screwed up, this kind of thing. When you see whatever happened with your parents, do you kind of go, listen, I'm not going to, that's not going to be me. I'm going to do it differently. Are you, Spencer, now looking at your family situation and go, I mean, are you old enough or mature enough to go, you know what, that's not going to be me when I get older?
Yeah, I definitely made those distinctions because I had even my dad. He's a great father. I've also had other father figures around, being coaches and
Good coaches.
good
Right.
coaches, and even my best friend's dad. He's been there for me through everything. They've given me things to look at and look forward to, and I've noticed and had the time to see what I want to be eventually once I have my feet on the ground. 'Cause
Nice.
It's no point to rush it if you're not set.
Nice. I like
Another
it.
boring story.
No, it's good. I like
That's one thing, Spencer. You look at your dad and be like, you know what? This is what the good things that he's done. This is what I want to model my life after.
right.
And
Yeah.
that's the exciting thing. I see your dad on the field, and he's a great guy. I love playing with him. And I love playing with you guys. Obviously, we were just playing with each other at Global Conquest, and it was
Yep.
amazing, right? So that's the thing. Is being able to look at it and be like, okay, James, you do a great job, my man. And looking at it and saying, you know what, this is what I want to model myself after and stuff like that. It's amazing.
Right. I like it. Peanut, are we keeping you up? I'm sorry. Are we boring you? I don't want to bore you.
Don't worry. You don't have to be anything like your dad. All right.
Exactly.
I heard this show order this weekend over to radio. Don't do that. All right.
Yeah, nice.
For him. No, I'm
Yeah.
joking. Go ahead, Peanut.
Peanut, you can yes, Peanut, stay with the root beer, not the Coke. All right, never mind. I'm just joking. All right. So Peanut, you got a guy that went through all this struggle, right? He went through this like hell, right? And now he's got 5 kids. your number, what you said, number 2? What is he? Number 2, right?
Yep, 2 of
Okay.
5.
Do you think that he's doing a great job as a dad, having to have like 4 other kids around? Do you think that he's learned his lessons of what went through his life, and like been able to like be there for you?
I think so.
He's a man of few
Simple
words.
yet profound.
Well, that's all the time we have, ladies and
That's
gentlemen.
it.
I'm like, exactly.
I mean, you guys know Alex. I mean, that was probably the most you guys ever heard him talk.
Exactly. No, Alex, listen, dude, listen, come on. Just let me know. I mean, we all know Mark as I mean, now the rest of the world knows Mark's backstory, but we all know Mark as this amazing guy who we all basically would like to have as a dad. So is he really cool? I mean, is he teaching you like life lessons and stuff?
Somewhat, yeah.
Oh, geez. Do you want to buy a vowel? Do you want to spin the wheel? You want to solve the puzzle?
All right, to talk to that.
I'm just surprised he doesn't have the earbuds in.
I must be doing something right because when he was on the wrestling team in middle school, the principal wanted me to be the dad of like all the kids in the school.
Wow, dude, that's cool. Nice. Okay, you guys, listen. And Gremlin, what about you? Are you well adjusted? Gremlin?
Yeah.
Hello. I'm talking to you,
Well,
Gremlin.
he says it was a longboard that broke his ankle. I don't know.
I don't know. I think did you land on your head? Come on. Okay, so Gremlin, what about you? Do you think that the way that your dad brought you up was good?
Yeah.
Do you want to elaborate?
Okay. Listen, I don't want to rush you. I mean, maybe you're still formulating sentences. I have no idea, but
They all want to be like me.
Maybe they're related.
So let's do this. Gremlin, I'm pretty sure is obviously faith-based. And he must have raised you obviously under the guidance of the what is it, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost? I'm Jewish, I'm sorry. I always get those wrong. Okay, cool. Was that important, Gremlin? Is that like kind of a good guidance for you to have that in your life, that you have a dad and then you have a father up in the sky? And I'm joking. Yeah. Okay.
Helped me realize not to do like a bunch of other things I see a lot of other people doing that aren't necessarily like the greatest.
Right. And so did your dad like jump in a lot of times when you were about to put that joint next to your mouth and he knocked it out, or where you're about to lift up a beer and he slapped it out of your hand? And
he had more than a broken ankle right now.
Exactly. Okay.
I'm joking. Go ahead. No, I'm sorry.
No. But Gremlin, right? You seem pretty well adjusted. You just don't have a big vocabulary, but you just seem pretty well. You seem pretty well adjusted. You like the way you did.
What we're looking for is the explanation like you did on the kids show. I mean, you went off on the kids show. That's what we're looking for.
Yeah.
What happened? Yeah, what happened? Did you used up all your words in the kids show and you can't reuse those, or how does that work? All right. Anyway, listen. There's no Holy Ghost, Holy Spirit. I don't know. I'm sorry, Rosemary. I always get listen. I don't know. Whatever. The guy in the sky. Okay, whoever it is. Anyway, so Gremlin.
Yeah.
Gremlin, you know what the show's about, right?
Mhm.
We're supposed to wax poetically about our dads because Father's Day is coming up, and we want to say how much we appreciate them being in our lives. And is this too much weight on your shoulders?
No.
Okay. Can you wax a little poetically about your dad and tell us why he's so cool?
If he never like tried paintball out, I wouldn't have ever played paintball, and like that's one of my favorite things to do. And like he just helped raise me and everything, and he didn't like leave or anything. So I'm
Nice.
better than I would have been if I probably didn't have a dad or good mom.
Very cool. I like it. Listen, okay. We'll come back to you next week. Okay, hold on a second. We'll come back. I'm just
There's a lot of different things as they're younger. There's a lot of things they don't understand, but they don't speak up much. Spencer, he's at that point where he's like over the hump of
Yeah, I know.
you
That's why
Hey,
Spencer's
like-
my pitch hitter. I'm going to
Yeah,
come back to
right.
him, and he's going to knock it out of the park. Okay.
Right. Alex here, he's still trying to catch up to it, but it's just like this. As a dad, we don't really care. Just the fact that our kid's sitting right here on the screen with us is almost just as much as all the words they can speak.
Nice.
But my kid, he was a wrestler. Okay, he wrestled hard, but he's also a sweetheart, and he never really won any matches because he never hurt anybody. Okay. No, seriously, he never wanted to hurt anybody, so he basically lost all his matches because
Wow.
he was afraid to hurt the other kid. But the kid would give me a hug every time, and it was you that said you went to wrestling matches, right, Preacher?
Yeah, I wrestled myself. He wrestled, but I think Spencer, didn't you say something about it?
I
Not
never
wrestle.
No, not wrestle.
Okay, I did wrestle,
Basketball,
but never had to
baseball.
go to any of my matches. My mom never went to any of my wrestling matches either.
The only
No.
reason I said that is when you go to wrestling, and Preacher's going to know this, 7 o'clock in the morning, if you're local or at home, 6 o'clock in the morning to get on that bus to ride out to wherever you're going, till about 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night when you're rolling back. It is an all-day
Yes.
sit around wrestling thing all day long. And my kid would hug me every time we went to a wrestling match because he knew that I was there for him. You know,
Wow.
I don't know any of the strategies or anything like that. I don't know what to say, but I go, you can do it. And when he's getting pinned, I'm like, get up, Alex, get up. But, you know, other
Right.
than that, hey, for him to come up to me, give me a hug and tell me, I mean, that's a lot of work.
Right. Exactly. You're right. There's a lot of unspoken things that make it special. I agree 100%, dude. I'm 100%. Spencer,
Yeah.
it's time for you
There
to
it
wax. It's time for you to wax poetically about your dad. So wait, have you known him all your life? I'm just
Yeah.
joking. Obviously, hang on. a
I
second.
mean,
is this a joke? Is this a
it's for the
joke?
parts that I remember.
Exactly. No, but how many are in the family? How many kids are? Does you just
It's just me and my older brother, and he's 21, so I'm the youngest.
Nice.
I'm 19.
Okay, cool. All right. So wax poetically. Let's hear why this guy's so special to you.
He was just always there, like just his presence, and sometimes he might not know what to say, or he'll say something that's kind of dumb. It's just him being there and saying it, like, or saying that stupid thing, or like when I have friends come over and he's just there, like
Dad jokes.
dad
Yeah.
jokes.
Yeah, jokes, right?
But just his presence, just it kind of shaped me, and even not. I just don't know how to say it. It's just the fact that him silently guiding me and pushing me to do different things and always showing up on time, and those morals that Preacher talked about, just kind of giving me those basic things, principles, gave me a lot to look forward to and learn. And now that I'm living life at college, like I'm using those principles a lot more and finding my own independence from it. So
Nice. Okay, well, let me ask you. Oh, there you go. Good job. Good job. I use PayPal. It's quicker, but that's okay. So let me ask you this, you guys. When we see what Hollywood presents as fathers, whether it's Dunphy in Modern Family, or the guys in what was it, who were the two guys with Wahlberg and what's his name, right? Okay, when we're seeing different kind of fathers, sometimes fathers are goofy and stupid and tell dad jokes and stuff. Sometimes fathers are like riding on Harley Davidson and come here kid, and this kind of thing. And then there's always the middle ground as well too. I've always wondered about that, you guys, and Spencer, you kind of hit on that your dad is he was there, right? He was doing what he's doing, and he just his personality wasn't outgoing. It wasn't kind of hey, let's go jump off the roof and that kind of stuff. But it's still whatever his personality was, it did affect you, and you knew that he was there for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm wondering, you guys. Maybe you can help me out like this. I don't know if there's a perfect dad. I don't know if, being there, like I was skateboarding with my kid. Yeah. Thank you very much. I would, when my kid got into skateboarding, I got into it and I broke my arm. When he got into Spider-Man, whatever he was doing, I was in, right? I was 100% in, that kind of thing, right? So I was kind of really not a helicopter dad, but I was like a hands-on, whatever you want to do, I'm in. I'm the one, actually, he found the paintball gear at a garage sale and then I took him out. And so we kind of got it together, but I've always been kind of like, whatever he wants to do, I'm like his best friend kind of thing. Okay, cool. Whether that was the best way of doing something, I don't know. But that's what I'm asking you guys. Do you feel that when the kids look at other dads and they go, oh, look at that dad's like, he's water skiing with his kid and my dad's sitting on the shore. You know what I'm saying? Do you feel that participation was bigger than, I don't know.
So I'm going to hop on that one, Reaper, real quick. And I'm going to tell you right now that I cannot teach my kids anything.
Okay.
As a father, my kids do not listen to me. I tried to teach them how to ride a bike and I didn't know what I was doing. All right. And so, like, I try to be that hands-on dad, like you said, that you're like, oh, let's do this. I'll help you. I'll do that. I coached my daughter's soccer team. I coached my son's soccer team. I tried to help him in baseball, and they don't listen to me. Everybody else's kids, I'm great with. Like, my daughter's friends call me Pawpaw. Like, listen.
That's cute.
But my kids, I can't teach them nothing. I got to send them down to the neighbors like, hey, teach my son how to ride a bike. He learned how to ride a bike because my neighbors down the street taught him. Like, and I
wait. Like, are you not able to teach him something because he doesn't want to learn from you, or you just have?
Yes, it's crazy.
Gremlin, what are you doing, Gremlin? Your dad is like saying, "Help me! I'm here for you." So you know what? I mean, listen, it's good on one hand because Gremlin wants to be independent, right? And he wants to basically do his own thing. But Gremlin, the guy's there for you. What are you doing, man? Come on, give the guy a break. Wow, that's amazing. Okay, so
paintball. We're playing paintball, and I'll talk to him, and I'll tell him something, and he won't do it. He's like, "No, I can't move there. I can't do this." I'm like, "Yes, you can. I got your back. Just do it." "No, I can't. But then he'll watch somebody else, and somebody else will tell him, and he's gone. And I'm like, "What the heck? I just tried that, man." But the cool thing, though, is we will talk about things, and after we talk about them, and we do then he'll listen, But teaching them, it's hard.
Wow, dude,
you just got to keep advice to two simple words.
Go ahead.
And I told Spencer before every basketball and every track and every baseball game. And it's real simple. 2 words. Don't suck.
Spencer.
I was a little different. I was always there with my kid. Actually, all of them. Teaching them how to ride a bike. They couldn't ride a bike. I just put them on a big hill and say, "You better learn now. It's going to hurt." They all know how to do it. They all knew how to do it. And I wouldn't do that unless I knew they did. They were just fearful. And a lot of times when they don't listen, it is an independence thing and also a fear thing. Like you're saying, trying to teach him how to ride a bike, he was just scared. And for some reason, sometimes us parents, we're scared that our kids are going to get hurt. And because we're scared our kids are going to get hurt, then they have a hard time learning how to ride a bike. It's little things like that. But me, I'm just like, yep, you'll be fine. Push.
Nice. That's cool. Spencer, how was your dad? I mean, was he like hands-on? Was he? I know you said that he would watch the games and stuff like that, but when it came to like building models or like whatever, where was the
Yeah, he was hands-on. I go to build a Lego set, and he'll just grab the instructions and then do it. And he's like, "This was fun." I'm just saying, like, yeah.
No, James.
Even now, it's like
James, come on, James.
Stuff and he'll go to grab it.
No,
We had an 8th grade science project, and everybody is making different things. Some pizza ovens out of pizza boxes in the sun. The effects of music on plants. I come home from night, and you know that father thing or mother thing where you say, hey, I have a project due and they need poster board.
Right. Right.
I get home from work and I hear, yeah, we have a science project due. I think I want to build a hydroelectric dam.
What?
It worked. It worked. We got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was
Okay.
That was cool.
So, but hang on a second. So, did you take James's advice about things? I mean, like whether it's the bike riding or whatever else, were you kind of more like independent, or were you kind of like, Dad, I need your help?
I think I asked a lot for help, and even now, like over quarantine, I've been learning. Like I've been relearning to like whittle and carve and do different things, and that's one of the things he learned from his dad and his grandpa was carving. So I'll ask him like, what do you think I should do? How should I shape this? And because of his knowledge from his experience with his grandfather and my great grandfather and all of those things, I look for a lot of help in my dad and a lot of other older people, because I kind of understand that I don't know everything. I think I do. I don't.
Right.
And it's best to ask people that at least they've lived long enough to somewhat see it, so they have a little bit more knowledge than I do.
Nice. That's cool.
James is proud right there. I just saw that. He said, I don't know everything. I know. He looked at his son like, oh, the epiphany just happened.
You see the lightning bolt?
Yep.
So,
light bulb turned on.
besides paintball, was there something that you guys bonded on besides paintball before you guys got into paintball?
I think sports was a big thing with us. I think just like being able to talk about it with my experience, like just playing in like games and different things like that. I think that was probably the biggest thing. We would also do hunting. I wasn't good at it, but we would go out hunting every fall and winter. There's just small things here and there that were the most important to me.
Were the animals constantly moving? Is that why you weren't good at it? I'm just joking.
No, it's the lack of animals, really.
Oh,
It was more like sitting in the woods and there's nothing there.
Nature walks.
Yeah, nature walks.
Okay, so let me ask you guys a question here. I'm from LA. We have our sports teams, I guess, I don't know, and we have our and actually the majority of people that are into sports here in LA are not from LA. They came in. And when you drive around the city, you'll see people with their Michigan flags or whatever else, that kind of thing, right? I got it. Okay, cool. Obviously, I didn't have a dad that was into any of that kind of stuff, but that's where I thought that kids got it, was that they were watching the sports with their dad. You know what I'm saying? That maybe that was their dad's favorite team, so now they're into the Wolverines or they're into something like that. Did you guys do the same thing with your kids? Were you like sitting down and the kids adopted something that you liked that they didn't know before?
None of my kids are like me.
No? Okay.
Yeah, I'm not a huge sports guy. Like I watch it here and there, but like I'm a Raiders fan, but I don't have to sit there and watch the game every Sunday or anything like that. So because I got so much going on, you know. So, but he now is like he's a Seattle Seahawks fan, and I'm like, come on, bro, don't you like a better team than the Seahawks? I'm the Raiders, you know, but
Right.
you know, it's just something that they pick up on their own or they pick up through their friends. That's how I got into playing baseball. I learned from my friends.
Okay, all right.
Same way with like football, I learned from my friends. You know.
Okay, all right.
With my time at college and my major, I'm a sport management major, so
Wow.
talking to them about why they kind of got into watching sports and that kind of things. They're like, oh, when I was little, I just liked the colors. I have a friend from high school that likes the Steelers just because he likes black and gold.
Right. Nice.
Okay. And
All
he
right.
just falls in love. I think a lot of it's parent influence and also
Yeah, parent influence.
mascots when you're little and
Right.
involvement with the crowd.
Right.
That's
I
the
wish
funny
we had-
part about it is
I was trying to get a girl and her father on as well, but Adam couldn't do it. I was trying to get Adam Lang on with this kid because I want to get that too. Because sometimes I look at girls who are very like into sports teams, and I'm like, you know, they like the Raiders, they like this, like that, and I'm like, they probably got that from their dad. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that they were like broke off from Barbies and go, hey, look who's the quarterback. they were probably sitting with their dad watching a game, you know what I'm saying? Do that kind of thing. So that's what I thought maybe with the same thing with you guys, where you were like, again, the Super Bowl was on or something was on at the house and you were watching it and that the chips were flowing and yeah. So I guess not. So
For me, my oldest, she's a daughter. She's a daughter. Yeah, that was kind of okay. Anyway, my oldest kid being a daughter.
Yeah.
I don't watch sports myself. I don't. Just watching them on TV bore me. The only sport I do watch is hockey, and that's live. I do watch the Red Wings. I mean, it's just a great hockey. But anything else, no. I never watched any sports. So none of my kids had anything to do with sports other than what they did at school. And my daughter's favorite sports team was her first boyfriend's favorite sports team. So she got it from her boyfriend, the sports team. My fourth child, I have no idea, but it's the Seahawks, isn't it? I'm like, Grandma, isn't it the Seahawks that he likes?
Yeah, Seattle Seahawks. Yeah.
No, well, I think it's the Seahawks that my fourth kid likes, and he doesn't really like it, but for some reason he roots for whoever it is on the football team. And
wait, he doesn't really like it, but he still watches it? There's other channels. Why is he's watching something he doesn't really like?
Well, I don't know why he watches it. He knows everything about football, but it's like he acts like he likes it, but yet he doesn't have that fan enthusiism that most sports fans have.
The word for that's addiction.
Oh, addiction! Look at listen to Mr. College Sports Guy.
There's been withdrawals.
Listen. Lisa Weber is going to be our surrogate girl showing up on the show. Ready? Here we go. Lisa Weber saying, "I used to watch NASCAR and wrestling with my dad." So there you go, right? And now she's driving fast and putting what's his name?
Roger
in a headlock. There you go. There's my joke. He's putting Roger in a headlock. Roger Weber. How did I forget your name? Anyway, so I always thought about that too when I watch people with their sports. So like there must have been some kind of dad influence, but
my daughter's a very girly girl.
Yeah.
Like she likes to hang out with her friends. She doesn't like sports. She won't play paintball.
Wow.
But the one thing that I did take them to when they were younger, I took them to the monster truck rally. And so every time the monster trucks are in town and stuff like that, she really looks forward to going to those.
Nice.
And I think that was because that was a father-daughter, bonding time. And so, do you like monster trucks too?
Yeah.
That's a foolish question.
But
all right.
I mean, she plays volleyball and stuff, but it wasn't because of anything for me. But like I said, monster trucks. She likes monster trucks, and I think it was
nice.
One of those things that we did.
Cool. All right. So you guys listen. Let's talk about some paintball here. When we were going through, my kid was just finishing. He was 10 years old. He's finishing soccer. And we stopped in a garage sale in Beverly Hills, and this guy said to my kid, "You can have all this for $100." It was like 3 spiders and like some pod packs and stuff. And we got in it, we played, and the problem was when we played until he turned 14, and then he discovered girls, and so then he left, and then I had to like face the fact to tell my wife, "Yeah, I really don't need him to play with me anymore. I'm playing by myself." Like this, it's like. I was using him as a crutch. I was kept on dragging him with me. But anyway, so the point is that it was a father and son bonding thing. It was fantastic. And then I found the community and fell in love. What about with you guys? Was it the kids start first? Did you start first? How did it work? Let's go Preacher and Gremlin.
He started first.
Yeah, I started first. I started playing and I did a little bit backwoods paintball, but then I went up to Hell Survivors in like 2008 for a big game, and I've been hooked ever since. And then when he was about 4 or 5 years old, of course I got a daughter also. My wife was like, "It's not fair that you keep getting to go and play paintball at the house with the kids." And I'm like, "Well, he can come with me."
Right.
So, I started bringing him along with me, but like you said, the paintball community is a giant family. And so she was worried at first, like, well, who's watching our kid when you're on the field? I'm like, I don't think you understand that when you play paintball, every guy there is a dad.
Right, exactly.
Every guy
Right.
there is looking after your kid. Like,
Right.
nobody.
And Lisa Weber will be a mother and let you know.
Yeah,
There you go.
absolutely.
Yes, I know.
So one of the guys on Aces of Fate, which is one of my paintball teams, his name is Rhino, and I'll tell you what, he straight up told my son, he goes, look, I'm a granddad. He goes, I'm not gonna let anything ever happen to you, son.
Wow.
So, that's what I said, like, the paintball community really took him in. So here it was, he's running around the field. Go ahead. Tell him about some of your time on the field.
When we would first get there at like the Saturday or like Friday, or actually it would be like a Friday, you would take me out on the field. I would always like going out and looking at it and like running around out there. And then at the end of the game, like you'd let me go out onto the like chrono range and let me shoot like the rest of the paintballs. And I just enjoyed it, wanted to play it ever since I started coming out.
Nice. Very cool. And do you feel it's a great bonding with you and your dad?
Yeah.
Yeah, my wife and daughter don't go. So it's always father-son bonding time.
Nice. Very
I
cool.
would say, I don't know about you, Noah, but I think the greatest time is when we're on the way home, because we're talking about, what took place on the field.
Right, right.
What was your favorite part of the weekend? Different things like that. And sharing those war stories, as you guys can all relate to. That's honestly the greatest thing. And then, of course, that father kicks out in me, and I'm like, so if you had to say you needed to improve, where would you improve? What would you have done different? What would you have done better? And it always strikes up another aspect of the game. It helps you grow, is what it really does. So
right, I agree. There would be a point where I'd be taking my kids to school or something, and my daughter was a little bit younger, and my son and I were talking about like how amazing the weekend was, and my daughter would finally say, "Enough, enough." But you had that bond with the kid, right? It was just like this amazing bond. Wolf wants me to have my kid on. Sorry, Wolf, my kid's in his apartment and my daughter's out camping. I would love to have had them on, but sorry. Next time. When we do a family show, we'll do a family show, and I'll have everybody on. Have my wife on. She can yell at me. Okay, never mind. All right. Anyway, James, Spencer, who started paintball first?
That would be
The son that's not here, that'd be Alex.
technically
Okay.
I did.
Oh.
I started back in the 80s. I played. I was we'd play in the backyard or behind the school in the nature center, or we were actually one of the first teams to play on Lone Wolf Metamoras Field.
Oh, nice. Okay.
But yeah, back in the 80s, we played with the, back when the first shot was coming out about 500 and the last one would roll out of the barrel, then you'd have to change tubes.
Right. Nice.
But then adulting and everything else happened, and I got away from it. And then my nephews got my oldest son into it. And Alex really loves it. I mean, we got him playing, and he didn't stop. He's been full bore ever since. Spencer went out one time with us and got roped on the head and gave it up for a couple of years because he didn't want anything to do with it.
Nice. Yeah.
Then he grew up a little bit, and then he met Kimbo and Big Country and some of the others, and now both of them, you can't keep them off the field. So
Wow.
they got me back into it. So.
Oh, really? Okay. So, and then tell me about the bonding part. Do you like Preacher was saying about the war stories and stuff? When you guys go and play, and like at a big game or something like that, you guys, it kind of, even Spencer is, getting older. But is there's still that kind of a bonding?
Definitely. I think it gives me and my brother a chance to connect more too. Because even before growing up, like we didn't see eye to eye. I don't know, just the older brother versus the younger brother just didn't it just wasn't connecting. But I think paintball's really like given us something to really talk about and communicate for. And even with with Dad, even talking about what we're gonna do for the next big game, who we're playing with,
Nice.
how we want to play or what we want to do. And with me, it's I never know if I want to carry my gun or not, because most of the time I won't even carry my gun on the field to go do stupid things. So it's just a lot of talking and telling my point of the story, whereas Dad's is him shooting people and my brother shooting people, just telling them what I think and what I do. It lets them kind of see my side of the story, and then we both kind of then understand like where each other's coming from.
Nice. Who are these fine folks?
Well, the handsome one in the middle is
Yeah, exactly. I thought so. Nice.
That's Alex on the right, and I'm on the left. And then
Nice.
I actually cropped the picture because we actually have a extended family
I was
there as
wondering,
well.
I was wondering who's.
Oh, yeah. I saw that extra hand in there. I was like, that was getting kind of creepy. That's like
Well,
one of those,
on Infected. I have the two Lindsay nephews as well. So I have nephews on my brother's side on our team, and then the other team is Dominion, which is my nephews from my stepbrother. So when we get together, it's a family thing. We have
nice.
It's all family.
Yeah, well, it's all
Nice.
family.
It's all
It's
family.
paintball family because
Dude, that's amazing.
um,
So and who's this? Oh, I'm sorry. That's a South African president trying to put a mask on. Never mind. Sorry. Okay. Who is this?
Go ahead.
So my dad is on the left side in the black. I'm on the right side in the red, and that was our first Living Legends, and we ended up. He ended up winning MVP, and I ended up winning Young Gun.
Dude, congratulations. Where was that? Is that Hell Survivors?
Yeah.
Nice. Is that in Hell Survivors?
Yes.
That was actually this last weekend Global Conquest. So it was kind of funny because we're sitting at that plastic container there, and I was out of paint, and so actually I have his gun in my hand because I turned back and I'm like, Noah, come here, I need your paint, and he's like, all right, comes running up, and I was like, here, fill my gun while I shoot because he couldn't reach his pack. But that's some of the joys of being able to play together.
Yeah, isn't it? Isn't that the? I mean, that
Having
is that.
pack mule with you, I'm joking.
No,
I'm joking.
no, but
he was
it's the-
covering,
It's that's the joy of our sport that I try to explain to everybody when we talk about like every time I have people on the show, I'm always asking them, listen, I'm not a sports guy. Were you involved in other kind of sports? And if you were, was it anything like our paintball community? And everybody says the same thing. No, where the father and the son or the daughter can actually, hang out together and play together at an equal footing. A 10-year-old can shoot just like a 60-year-old. It doesn't matter, right?
Yep.
That is crazy. Okay. Mark, you said you only been playing for like 5 years, right?
Yep.
How'd you get in it? How'd you get the kids in? What'd you do?
Well, we used to live right by Exotic Sports in Taylor until they closed it down. But my son kept talking to me about it. And one day I said, all right, fine, we're going to stop. We stopped in there, and I looked at the prices of all these markers on the wall, and I was like, no, I don't think I'm going to get into this. The price of these markers, I don't want to do something I don't know if I'm going to want to do.
Right.
So he's looking at me with these sad puppy dog eyes, and then all of a sudden Andrew goes, well, I got these two rental A5s. I'll sell you $45 each. And I was like, okay, I'll do that. So I bought these two A5s. We went home. This is before I knew anything. I said, Alex, run. He runs. I shot him in the butt. Well, actually, it was in the leg that I got you, right? He shows me the welt from it, which I didn't realize that they came out that hard. I felt horrible about it. And then for a while, we kind of really didn't do much with it until we went to our first Santa game. And then that was our very first sanctioned paintball game was at Hell Survivors for Santa and Reindeer. We had a blast when we went out there. A friend Ponder went with us, and we all went out there. We played some paintball. And then it just kept going from there. He started going the MagFed way. I started going as I'm an operator. And we just kept going and going. Well, he kind of took like a year break school, Mom was like, So he wasn't there. I wound up on a team. He comes back into it like, I don't know what to do now because now I'm on a team and he's coming along. This guy is like, what happened in 1 year? So I'm on a team. I'm knowing more people. He gets into it more, and now we call him Paintball GQ because any picture that you ever see him at, he's just sunglasses on, all paintball tactical GQ, just sitting there in the chair. But then he gets out on the field, and the kid, it doesn't matter. You think you know where he is? You think you can find him? Not until he decides to let you know he's there. The kid will
Nice.
run a whole field, walk up and have conversations with the opposing team for 5 minutes before they go, hey, wait, are you on the other team? Ow, or something like that. And they're out. He's like, yep, I was.
Nice. Very cool. Listen, you guys, that's what I keep on telling everybody about paintball and about this community and about this, the bonding with the, with the family and everything like that. It's hard for them to understand it until they go out and play it, and then they go, wow, this is kind of like very unique. And I think that, again, of all the things that I've heard about out there, from mini golf to basketball or something, this is kind of one of those things that, like with Lisa Weber or any of these other people, that you just feel that right away that we're all connected. Like, it's just an amazing thing. And maybe if you're lacking in some skills, or maybe if Gremlin decides that he can't learn enough from Preacher, he'll go to somebody else in our paintball world to learn from him. At least we know he's getting good advice. I'll just put it that way. So it's been fantastic. So you guys, listen. We've waxed poetically about dadhood, about basically our backstories and how we became how we are, and how hopefully we've raised our kids better. Except James, and just joking. Anyway, but did you think we missed anything? Is there any other advice that we can give people out there that maybe are starting a family and they don't know anything about being a dad? You guys, anything else?
I do. Just
Okay.
because of the fact that the reason why the school said what they said was because there were so many kids that wanted to wrestle or wanted to be on the football team, could never get there. I was always the guy. That's the reason why it happened. I was always the guy in the morning. My wife and I got up, cooked the whole wrestling team breakfast, threw it in a styrofoam container so they had breakfast to eat, going to their match. But I was also the guy that when the kid was left there and he was like, I don't have a ride. I was like, do you want to go? He's like, yes. I picked the kid up, and you never, as a dad, never look down on another family or another kid because they're having a hard way. Try to help that kid get to these events, because that's what makes them change or beat the cycle, is somebody there for the kid. The other thing is as a parent, never give up on your kid. I mean, the case in point right here, he's 20 years old and he graduated this year. I mean, you never give up. You never let them see you give up. You just
Right.
keep going and going and going.
I like it.
One of the things for me that I try to do with my son, especially with like paintball and stuff, I make traditions. So that way we always got something to look forward to. For instance, Noah, what's one of our traditions that we do after a paintball game?
After a game at Hell Survivors, we go down to Dairy Queen and get like some food and ice cream.
Wow, that's cool.
Ice cream first. You eat the food first, you done messed up. So that's it, And so
We're
That's
following you after the next one.
hey, serious. Hey, ice cream and burgers, or ice cream and he gets the chicken tenders, but
Nice.
so we try to do traditions and things like that, so that way it's like, oh well, hey, look, we got something to look forward to. And then I never had that as a kid, so then he can always look back and be like, oh, after paintball we'd always go to Dairy Queen, or hey, and then because you always hear those stories. I always heard the stories, at least, about people with their grandparents and things like that, and I always admired that and looked forward to that, but never had that. So that's something like as a parent that I try to do with my kids, so that way they
Nice.
come back and be like, yeah, I remember my childhood. I remember after every game we would do this. I remember after every game, this would take place. Like, I know when we go out to events, one of the things that he looks forward to probably the most is which hotel we're going to stay at. So that way, what'd you say?
The ice cream.
Yeah. But we do. Where are we going to eat at? Because we always eat somewhere different, or eat something good. Like if we're out of town, like somewhere where I've never been, like he said, if we go down to Bones and Ashes, which is in North Carolina at Black Ops, what's one place we have to stop at when we go there? Bojangles, baby. Get that chicken.
Bojangles.
Bojangles.
Bojangles. The biscuits. Oh my god.
We don't have one around here. So
yeah.
Bojangles. Hell
But
Survivor.
you know what?
Is
Listen,
Dairy Queen.
not only do I think you're right. Look at Polsky here in Los Angeles. He's saying awesome advice, preacher. So yeah, I think that's awesome advice, you guys, to start a tradition with your kids. We were doing Chili's. I think we were stopping at Chili's all the time. Yeah, you know what? If the kid had a bad day on the paintball field or something, he's got that to look forward to.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? He's going to go, yeah, that's going to be cool. Yeah, he's going to Dairy Queen. So we got never give up on your kids as advice. We've got start a tradition. James, what do we have? Sit on the sideline and watch your kid? What's your thing? I'm joking. I'm just joking.
No, I mean, just love them all the same. Don't pick favorites. As long as they're both dependents, I love them exactly the same.
Nice.
So a couple more years, and then he'll be my favorite for.
Nice. Okay, cool.
It all
Nice.
depends on how many you have. You know, when you start having a lot of them, then you start picking favorites.
No, they're both the same until they don't make me money.
Yeah.
Who's Jimmy Churchill?
Jimmy's one of our teammates on Mad Frog. Sorry, Jimmy. Just so you know, everybody's always invited, but after Hell Survivor game, it's Dairy Queen, buddy.
Okay, nice. Lisa says BC Osaka when we go to Black. I guess that's like a Japanese restaurant, probably.
Yeah, we've
I'm
never
guessing
done
it's.
that.
I've never been to Blast Camp, so Lisa,
Blast Camp's
look
sweet.
forward to that.
Nice.
We'll get
Okay,
you to Blast
so-
Camp this year. That's a fun one.
Okay, so listen. So we have never give up on your kids, start a tradition, and love all your kids equally, right? All right, cool. I like that. All right. Yeah, I think that yes, I'm going to agree with each one of those because I've done each one of those. That's fantastic that we all have kind of the same mindset too. And I guess my biggest one would be is to sometimes it's better to listen than to say things. Sometimes that I get over talkative, but I try to control the conversation. And sometimes it's better when your kid is saying something just to listen. And also, you know what, you guys, you don't always have to solve problems. Sometimes you can just be there to listen to them. You know, guys like to conquer things and solve problems and to we're like, everything's a puzzle and we got to figure this out. But sometimes people just want you to listen to them. So there you go. That's my advice. All right, you guys, listen. What do we got? Do you think we covered all the bases here of being, it's impossible to cover all, it's impossible to keep up with, hang on a second. It's impossible to keep up with Hollywood here. Let's see. There we go. Right? It's impossible to be Hollywood, but we can do this sometimes with our kids, right? Just hang out with them, wash some dishes maybe, or we can be stupid like this guy, like that. That's me. That's how I run it. Or maybe slow dance with your daughter, right? There you go. Exactly. So all these things add up. Yes, thank you. Exactly.
Slow
Yeah,
dance, Spencer.
James, when I see you next time, you can slow dance with me. You can pick me up. All right.
Okay.
Exactly.
Slow dance with you.
Exactly. Okay, you guys, listen. I think we did a pretty good job. I think that you can never say enough about fatherhood, kids, dads, all this kind of bonding kind of thing. So I want to thank you guys for coming on. I think it was fantastic.
Thank you, and to everybody in the chat as well as the three of you. Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
Happy
Happy Father's Day. Happy Dad's Day. Yeah, Happy Dad's Day. Happy Dad's Day. Okay, you guys, hang out in the green room 1 second. I'll see you guys in a second. I'll be right back. Let me just close out the show. And crazy, huh? Nice. All right. So I'm doing this thing, guys. I'm going to try to do this thing. I'm calling it bonus ball. And bonus ball is basically I'm going to end the show on a positive note. So on this one, I created this. I made this. It's My gain is not your loss. We all grow together. Paintball. I see that a lot of times. Maybe it might be a generational thing too, where people get like jealous of what I'm doing or what someone else is doing, and then they go like, that guy, he's taking this, he's doing that. I'm in my own road. I'm in my own lane. I'm doing my own thing. Whether I'm sponsored or not sponsored, whatever I'm doing for me, the community, whatever else. I'm just doing this thing. There's more than one lane on a highway. Be in your own lane. Do your own thing. If I'm in my lane and I'm succeeding in what I'm doing, is that making you lose? That doesn't make any sense, right? I'm trying to succeed here, doing what I'm doing, and I'm actually giving back. So maybe you should think the same way, right? The people that are succeeding are not taking away from you. There's not like $5 and this person just took 4 of them. It doesn't work that way. Life is just about succeeding and growing and whatever. So my gain is not your loss. Get out there and grow. Do something great, and be positive to our sport and be positive to our community. And happy Father's Day. Thanks again for watching, you guys. See ya.